against 4GG.
Fighting in it. Yeah.
On Varney.
On Varney Research Station.
Lamb curry is very good too.
Lamb. I've never eaten lamb before.
If cooked properly, one of the best meats you'll ever have.
Nice.
Have you had rabbit?
No. You ever eat deer at all?
Yeah.
Deer's pretty popular where I'm from.
They have this restaurant in I guess in Mongolia, and like if you go to a Mongolian restaurant, you can literally pick like 20 different kinds of meat.
I've heard you can get pretty much anything.
Yeah, like alligator and stuff too. It's or kangaroo. I feel a bit mean eating a kangaroo, but you know, I'll do it.
Good to know you're not afraid to eat kangaroos, Muslim.
Have you ever seen a wombat?
No.
Like, I've never been to Australia, but I saw a picture of a wombat yesterday. It was so huge. Surprised me. Oh, by the way, starting off the game, we have FireCake going for a very early pool here. So he's totally anticipating a CC on the low ground, and he's going to try and cancel it. Yeah.
I don't know why. That's where you broke me, Ben. You broke me with wombats.
I know I'd do it eventually.
Yeah, well, Beastyqt should be safe against this though, no? Because his command center, if he goes 1 racks or 15 is even. This is even better because he should just build a second depot, right?
I mean, yeah.
You get a second depot with this build.
But this build by FireCake isn't planning on killing his opponent. He's planning on canceling the CC on the low ground.
Yeah, but
which
he shouldn't be able to do that though. It's going to start too late.
You think?
Yeah.
The CC on the low ground is going to start too. Oh, he's going.
Yeah, because it's a 15 gas. So he gets the second depot, 2 Marines, then a reactor, and then the command center starts.
I still think
unless
the
he
CC,
pockets the lings and waits for the SCV.
No, I still think the CC on the low ground is going to start, Nathanius.
Do you think he's going to be able to cancel it though?
Yeah. I mean, you get 2 Marines and then the reactor, right?
Yeah, 2 Marines won't be able to stop 6 lings.
I mean, if he went for extra Marines,
if
and
he
then got the
SCV
factory,
scouted, then I think he's in great position.
How often do you see like SCV scout against Zerg there? Realistically,
I don't think it's ever a bad idea.
You don't? Oh, is this the magnet?
Oh no.
I mean, like very rarely do Terrans open up anything other than Reaper or CC first. But wow, big mistake by FireCake losing this.
He kills the Overlord and starts the command center. Oh, the Muslim. God damn it. Why did I ever doubt you? This is a really, really bad way to start for Beastyqt.
I almost feel
just immediately cancels. Like, well, cancels the reactor too. He's like, here we go.
Probably the best reaction by Beasty. I mean, the fact that he lost 2 Marines, that was really bad. But I mean, he gets 1 Marine out here, then he'll start his reactor after. I mean, that's about the best thing he can do in this situation. So, starts his reactor now, and he's actually not too bad. Yeah, okay, good. I don't think he's in too terrible shape, because he killed the Overlord. And I mean, against this build, you either pull SCVs and try and save your Expo. Nice matchup by FireCake here, keeping all these lings alive, by the way. They will live to see another day.
SCV did run across the map and get killed. Just died a whole bunch of painful deaths, but he didn't really see too much at FireCake's base, except that his natural was obviously late with how fast those links came across.
FireCake totally metagaming there with that early pool like that.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who SCV scouts against Zerg, I was a little bit surprised to see Beastyqt take that much damage.
Now, I'm just going to ask you, like, why do you SCV scout? Like, what do you hope to see?
You know, usually I open Reaper, I 15 scout. Like, when the barracks finishes, that SCV goes when I open Reaper, because I veto Overgrowth. But I do it because so many Zergs run lings around.
So, like, do you only produce 1 Reaper? Is that why you do it?
No. I sometimes build 2, but it lets me know if I need to keep the other Reaper at home.
Okay. I mean, you could...
On Catalina, it basically works like this, Ben. Every single game where I don't SCV scout, my Reaper shows up, my second Reaper's halfway across the map, and then 6 lings cancel my natural.
I mean, you could get way more minerals if you just don't SCV scout, and then you just keep your second Reaper at home.
But then I can't kill drones.
I mean, how often do you kill drones anyway? With 2 Reapers.
I play on NA server, Ben.
I mean, I'm just trying to lend a little bit of friendly advice here.
When I start my European adventure, I promise.
Oh, are you looking forward to European ladder?
You know what?
Yeah.
Now that I'm going to start laddering on Europe for the next month, I promise not to SCV scout against Zerg.
I mean, like, you can. I mean, it would.
No. We'll see how it goes. Armory's on the way for Beastyqt, so he's going to do like some sort of Hell Batterino push.
Is that okay?
He doesn't really have a lot behind it though.
No, I mean, he has a medevac, he has a few Marines. He could potentially deal damage. I mean, there's no Baneling Nest inside.
Yeah, the Roach Warren's only just about to finish, so he's got like 27 or so seconds for the Roaches to finish.
6 Roaches, though. I mean, that's pretty decently timed. Here he's made a very nice functioning
These
wall.
Queens also don't have any energy, right? So he can just... He could try to elevator these if he wanted and then transform, but I think transforming right here, Queens can't transfuse. There's no energy.
I think those Roaches were perfectly timed, though. I mean, he's got a supply lead.
If he had been able to make this push a little bit earlier, then I think it does a lot more. But even then, Hellbat's on top of Roaches. Like, if you can kill the Queens, you know, you can still pick up whatever's left after the Queens are dead and then dance around. Like, he doesn't have to lose all of it. I think this can still be annoying.
I mean,
but you think not worth?
I don't think
third command center hasn't even started. Never
Yeah,
mind. Not worth.
Not worth at all. I mean, if you're FireCake at this point in time, I mean, he's not going to go for it, but like with the amount of drones that he's making. But you know how we saw Sulky yesterday just kind of go for like a 2-base Roach all-in kind of thing, getting a third against Marine Lord?
Yeah.
I think that kind of play would be perfect here. Like, just literally roaching. I mean, what would his opponent realistically do against that?
He killed another Queen. Like, I mean, the Queen damage has been pretty good, and he might actually pick up this Roach and expose his mineral line a little bit. Which I do. Okay, so now he can start to get a little bit more work done. The third command center only now just starting.
Oh,
and you said
this
we're
is
gonna.
Cool, though.
Yeah. By the way, he's totally setting himself up for mech, getting the rest of his refineries before sitting any barracks. These Hellions slipping by. Barbecue time.
Barbecue time indeed. I mean, FireCake isn't pulling away here, so. I mean, the third's still under fire here from like a Marine and a Hellbat.
Do you ever get chills when you're like casting or watching another Terran do this?
Nice.
It feels so good sometimes.
I mean,
watch drones die.
I like it happening, especially to FireCake.
Well met.
Just saying. Okay, so we actually don't see a huge investment in Roaches, given that he is getting +1 melee, which, considering what he's going for, which is mech, I guess FireCake doesn't really have a clue how...
Is FireCake actually going to be able to get to Swarm Host? So that's the... let's be honest, that's the only thing that matters at this point, because he's going to die any other way.
How many workers were made? I mean, were killed here by BC? Because, I mean...
Killed 19.
I mean, solid. Absolutely
Considering
solid.
how late his third command center is,
wow,
that was the
more
only
workers
way.
dying. In the third, is this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if you want to make... I'm liking this now. I mean... At first, this was going absolutely terribly for Beasty, but the follow-ups that he did, and I mean, at this point in time, with how many Hellions are on the map and have been made...
What's that worker's killed at now? Because he evened it up.
Wow.
32.
I mean,
yeesh.
Beastyqt was in a terrible position.
He's killing the Queens. This hatchery doesn't... Okay, he does get the inject off on it before the Queens die.
He might be able to kill these 2 Queens, too.
I think he very well could do so.
And I mean... Look at the supply count now. I think Beasty's just going to go for a big timing push here with Thors, Banshees. Once you get up to like 4 or 5 Banshees...
This lair is far too late for him to get Swarm Hosts out. Like, you just kill him. Just keep building Banshees, Thors. Man. There's nothing that can actually stop this now.
Now, how did this happen? Well, FireCake was just totally unprepared.
It all started with FireCake getting... I think the Hellion run by in the main base is what really sealed the deal.
Like,
the pressure up the third was nice, but he didn't actually lose that many drones.
No, and I mean...
But when he ran all the when he killed like all the drones in the main base, that was where this just got ugly.
After that Hellbat push, if he realistically just said to himself, hey, I'm just going to roach all in from this point on, I don't think Beasty would have been able to stop it. And I mean, what did Beasty do? He went for Hellion attacks, he went for like some Banshee harass, and he killed 32 Harvesters. FireCake could have bypassed all that pain.
FireCake wants Swarm Host so badly to Muslim, he's building 2. Oh, he canceled 1. Okay, ruined my joke. He was building 2 infestation pits for a moment.
A Hydralist then as well.
Okay.
How'd you feel about Hydras?
I think he needs something that can kill the Banshees when he moves the Swarm Host forward.
You don't think that's the job of the Infestors and Queens?
I think he can't afford. I guess the Queens are probably better. I don't know why he's getting a Hydralist in that case.
I mean, the thing is, like, Hydras die to absolutely everything, even Banshees.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I always feel that those Queens do a much better job of just surviving, and that's kind of what you want them to do.
Yeah, the Queens just have so many more hit points.
Yeah, and they transfuse each other. They
have more range. Man, Queens are just great, aren't they, Ben?
They're just a better unit.
Just a better unit.
This is a really nice push out by Beasty, though. Like, he's got a really, really tough
Well, this
kill
is
army.
Beasty's one opportunity to play this game without having to deal with Swarm Hosts, because the Locust upgrade is on the way. There are no Swarm Hosts on the map yet.
Oh, how do you kill those 5 Banshees right now? Like, you don't. Yeah.
You die. A horrible, painful death. You brought some SCVs to repair. He's ready for this. The Thor gets caught on that Overlord, but once that spine is gone, once that spore is gone, these Banshees just go to town.
Oh. and with Thor's dealing damage, I mean, all those
The
transfuses.
transfuses on the Spore have been pretty legit, though. I think. Oh wow. Kill it. He targets it. He's like, ah, yes, I do need to get rid of that.
That was an unnecessary amount of damage being done by the Spore.
Most unfortunate. Now the Banshees are going to work, picking off the Queens, and now the third base is pretty much.
It is screwed. I mean, Swarm Hosts do join the fray here, just in light numbers though, so they even back off there. But Thor's, I mean, that third is very much so under threat here of dying, and those Banshees dealing so much damage.
Yeah, it'd be I think it'd be a catastrophic error if he found a way to not kill this third base at the end of this fight. Focusing down the Queens with the Thor, so good. Just making sure he can get maximum utility out of these Banshees with no mobile anti-air. Third base dies. Now FireCake did get Swarm Hosts out on the map though, which means this is anybody's game.
I mean, the worrisome thing though for him is his opponent got a third base while doing this, and I mean, kept all the Banshees alive. So again, that's going to be a threat which he's trying to make up for by making Hydras.
And he's continuing to build Banshees. What's the total Banshee count on the map?
It's got to be 6, surely.
No, just up to 5 again. Still pretty good.
Hellions on the map.
He did build Hydras though. That's his. That is his anti-air. But the Hellions can Shrek those too. Does he? Okay, he's just not getting Blue Flame.
3 starports all at once.
That's a lot. Is he just gonna go straight for Ravens or mass Banshees? What do you think?
I mean, the fact that he dealt such a killing blow just there,
I think
like by killing
I think he could go Banshees.
I think
it'd be cool to watch him kill him with 20 Banshees.
I think so too. Like Banshees, and I mean, if you get to see that your opponent's going Hydras, I mean, why not? Yeah. Ravens early on though. Ugh. Is he choosing to make this a long game? I feel like both of these guys just kind of say to each other, well, they've said to themselves, like, at different points, though. Like, FireCake wanted to make it a long, safer game.
Hey, FireCake is at 80 drones.
Yeah.
So, with the fourth base done and the third base refinishing, Beasty actually can't end this game. Like, he made it to Swarm Hosts, right? That's pretty much, like, all you have to do.
That's all you have to do, I mean...
And then you need a ridiculous amount of siege tanks to break the position. He's going to try to push up now, but it's still going to be quite tricky. The tank count is quite healthy.
It's very healthy, and getting position of this watchtower. Tanks are sieged, Thor tanking for the tanks, and wow, reflects that army.
Yeah, the biggest problem right now is that there's no Spore Crawlers at this fourth base. Like, there's one in the mid-run, obviously, but not out here that can actually deal with this.
There's an Overseer over here, though. Does grant the Hydra's vision.
I was going to say, I think the Banshees could have actually taken the Hydras, but a couple of them are dinked up.
This is a nice position for him to rally his mech to, though. I mean, you can also start sending these Hellions now in, like, little attack squads to the fourth.
I mean, look, he's got his fourth. He's taken his fifth base at the same time, plus 3 upgrades beginning.
Just big fight going on in the middle.
He's trying to break this position once again. The Banshee's going ham.
Wow.
He like secreted. Oh, he secreted a roach that ran into him, and then it still detonated. Rip.
That's never pleasant. Making lots of Hydras, so like, what's his main worry here? I guess he's mainly worried about those Banshees in the air that he can't really attack unless he has Hydras.
I like seeing this, and I also like that he has the Raven because it's
Hellions.
Clearing the creep. Hellions run up, and wow, oh yeah, Hydras are these are just not the ideal units to handle this. Like, those Hydras cost gas, so even if he loses all the Hellions, like, just trading for a few, it's just so good. Like, so good. You need that gas.
Like Hellions right now, if you're a Terran,
he's made it to Vipers, by the way. Like,
yes.
It's reaching a point where 2 Blinding Clouds could allow him to just overwhelm this entire position. I think FireCake might actually charge into this very soon. There's almost enough energy for 1-point defense drone.
I mean, he's got Hydras, but I guess he's got Locust too. Oh, did he just... Okay, what did he lose there? Decently positioned siege tanks. Hellbat's on the right side dealing damage to that soon-to-be established 5th, but, you know, it will fall by the looks of it.
Yeah, that one Hellbat is just being so lazy.
Where's Beasty's money going? I mean, I feel he could have a solid 200 supply army. Oh, these Hydras, if they do fight those Hellbats head-on, they will die.
Yeah, it's not a fun place to be. He's pulling his army back now, slowly inching these tanks forward. And using the point defense drone to help cover against the Locust attacks. Still building Banshees while building Ravens. Yeah.
I feel the fact that he's not adding on Vikings to deal with those Vipers might bite him in the butt here.
Yeah. Well, here it is, biting him in the butt as he Blinding Clouds the majority of the siege tanks. Find themselves totally useless, but he's got a good spread back behind this, so he shouldn't actually be able to break this, which is nice. But once again, you mentioned it, There's, especially without the Thor, he could just rebuild the Vipers or recharge them. Did he lose the other Vipers he had? Because he's building new ones. No,
I don't believe he
so he's
did.
going to go up to 6. He's going to have a ton of blinding clouds.
We saw against 4GG when he played the star that he had an obscene amount of Vipers. But one nice thing for Beastyqt here is he spent so much on infrastructure, such as making CCs. He's got 5 bases up. He's doing very, very well in that regard. But he really needs to solidify this big beastie army of his. Oh, turrets. That's nice.
One way to do it. I like the turrets.
Yeah.
Not abductable.
Oh, what's happening in the natural of Beastyqt over here? Big blue blob.
Trading some supply out, man. Get rid of these roaches.
Meets the wall of Beastie, though.
Do some harass. Boom! When roaches die to siege tanks, it's a beautiful sight. Abducts the banshees after that hatchery gets picked off. A lot of abducts.
Oh, but just killed his base too. Guess I just used the banshees over there, but banshees to their doom. So more banshees being made, ravens being made. These
There are
roaches.
a couple of Vikings in there too.
Yeah, I think
Nice
like
to
the
see.
Viking edition. Oh, just kind of sieges up. These roach attacks, like these counter attacks, are pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he wants to deal damage, and it's kind of down to Beastie not letting him deal damage, but, ooh, nice trades on these tanks here. Very nice trades.
Yeah, he's going to use 1 tank for all of these roaches.
Trade I'd take any day of the week.
That's a really good hold for Beastie. Like, that's just an obscene amount of resources wasted there.
And this Raven count is just growing. Just keeps growing. I mean, they're one of the hardest units to get up.
Yeah, he's been continuously mixing in Banshees as well. Like, there's always some Banshees active, and I really like that because FireCake, as good as he seems to be with Swarm hosts, he hasn't built any mutas. Like, the Banshees have just kind of had a free reign all day.
Ooh. I mean, these Hellions do keep dying, but as we see from the supply, I mean, he's not really struggling. He's got 5 bases up. This is a perfect split map scenario, and he's the guy that's putting pressure on his Swarm host opponent by just kind of eliminating bases one by one. Bam, got it.
Yeah,
No cancel by looks of it too.
I can dig it. The Hellbats are heading to the southeast base. He's starting to get his vehicle armor upgrades. Since he played single eBay all game.
Oh, that's so cool. It's moments like these that I get very happy. Those drones all fall into their deaths. And roaches, they're trying to join the fray here to try and deal with these Hellbats, but you know, if you don't have enough, these Hellbats will make a mockery of you. And now FireCake's down to 4 bases against soon to be 6. And here, woo, big fight happening.
Oh, I love this. He reflexively just throws out those PDDs so that his units stay alive and lose all of his abducted ravens. And look at this, the Fusion Core is finishing up soon. So we're going to see him transition into battle cruisers to finish this game.
I like that.
Like, FireCake, for as much as we usually say Stormhost players have in the bank, he's kind of broke.
Oh, wow. And Beastyqt just has this army out of nowhere. And I mean, this will allow, like, these Swarmhost positioning over here, that will allow his army on the left to kind of flank that base over there too. So Beastyqt handling mech very, very well. Oh, the Mana Mules! I love it! I love it!
It's like, get out.
Oh,
of my game.
Seeking Missiles, Seeking Missiles. Are they going to go off? No, they do not. But we have a lot of Mana Mules, and that's enough.
Yeah, I'm satisfied by that alone. He's really cut off the head of the economy here for FireCake.
Oh, and I mean, he's really taxing FireCake's multitasking here, and we see that because drone lines are dying left, right, and center. Down to 29 drones here is FireCake, and against all the harass so far, FireCake's just not been fast enough to deal with it.
No, he's having a field day, to say the least.
And battle cruisers
3 BCs.
in production.
He's raising the hammer. He's getting ready to drop it down on FireCake's head, man.
And you know, first game of the series, like, started off really bad for Beastie. Finally got into a position where he felt comfortable enough to drop the Mana Mules, and he did it. And I mean, against a player like FireCake, oh, it feels so good.
Yeah. You really give a Terran a lot of freedom when you play Swarmhost without Mutalisks.
Very nice abducts here, picking up a good 6 or so tanks, even blinding clouding after pulling them, just making them useless and about to die.
The problem is, without a Spire, he can't even think about building Corruptors. Like, Hydras just suck versus point defense drone, they have no hit points.
Yeah, I mean, DCs, they're like the ultimate unit against this composition, and with this amount of Ravens too. Oh, what's he pulling them into? Pulling them into Spores? Okay, I mean, really good abducts here. But
7 BCs on a production tab. That's beautiful.
I mean,
we just take a moment to appreciate that.
Yeah, I was about to say, if there's one small critique, it would be not getting the armor upgrade just yet, but, you know...
He's working on it.
Yeah, he started getting it as soon as I thought it, and, yeah, there's nothing wrong with Beastie's play right now. I mean, Banshee harassed continuously, taking out drones, and I mean, we look at the bank of FireCake, it's not one of those situations where it's like, oh, you're killing drones, but to what end? Well, you know, he's broke right now, and he actually needs drones at this point in time, so using Banshees continuously throughout this game to harass and deal damage, like, that's not what we normally see from mech players.
No, not at all. And he's even actually really hurting this base. He's gonna kill it. Sorry, I really need to rest. GG. FireCake's feeling tired as he taps out, realizing he can't stop the funk.
Does he realize that this is a best of 3? Because I really need to rest implies that
unless he's just
he's going away.
Maybe he's just like, no, I'm not feeling it.
Or maybe he thinks like, you know, I could win this game, but I'm going to give this one to you because I want to rest. That's what I feel like. Because I mean, he could have just GG'd.
That doesn't make any sense.
He could have just GG'd and just been like, yeah, GG, you won. Because like, Beastyqt
unless
won.
he's saying that he's like out. But we would know that pretty quickly because then our admin would just be like, yo, he's totally gone.
Beastyqt laying down the smackdown, though. I mean, very well executed mech.
Dude, if you don't, like, let's be real here. If your opponent builds swarm hosts and no mutas, like, you don't need to build Thors. You just build a ton of tanks. And he had like massive armies because he didn't have to drop supply into Thors.
Yeah,
that helped a lot. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, you can check out our VODs are already up from all the matches that we did on yesterday. The game that we would recommend most was it Overgrowth? Rain versus insert name of Zerg player here. He killed.
Is he Swedish? Was it? I only remember Rain against Sandster, but was that Overgrowth?
Rain might have been Catalina. Anyway, he killed him with a War Prism and 3 sentries. It's worth watching. His micro was dirty. Dirtier than your laundry, Ben.
Dirtier than my laundry? My laundry's really clean. But like, are you sure? I thought it was Expedition Lost.
Maybe it was Expedition Lost. I'm bad at remembering maps. I can't remember every detail about the game, but then you're like, what map was it? And I'm like, huh.
How many gateways was it? Early on with the harass, the War Prism.
For some reason, when... Oh, no, he didn't have that many. Did he?
You said you remember everything.
It was like 5 gateways.
3.
3? No.
Yeah, then he went up to 7
Look,
with the
when I
Immortal
say
War.
every detail, I mean every detail that matters, Ben. He killed him with a War Prism and 3 sentries.
Was it 5? Was it 3? Those kind of details matter, Nathan. Just saying. By the way, any update on the FireCake situation? Is he actually resting or...
Funny Research Station is the next map. So...
I feel like that was kind of like a, I need to rest because, you know, I could win this game, but, you know, I don't want to put that much effort into it.
Maybe he just GG'd out and went to the bathroom real quick. Doesn't matter. We're loading into the next game.
We'll see. We'll see.
Either that or we didn't realize it was the best of 3. Someone told him it was, and we're going to play out game number 2. We did that pretty well right before it went to the other screen.
I gave the weird smile.
Oh, you did the weird face?
Yeah, weird face. Like, not my normal weird face.
Got a lot of weird faces, Ben.
Thanks. Now, Varney Research Station. I like to cheese on this map.
Really? Against Zerg?
Yeah.
Let me guess. 2 barracks hidden somewhere outside the Zerg's base.
8 Rex Reaper in their natural.
In their natural?
Yeah, have you never seen it?
On this map? I can see you getting away with it on Secret Springs, but how do you do on this map?
I'll, like, talk about where you can plonk it, but... I did it against Fenner in a show match, and he said he never saw it before either. It's really nasty.
Well, I would expect you to be ahead of the curve when it comes to cheese to Muslim.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, what are we if we can't cheese? Like, especially on new maps. But anyhow, so Varney Research Station. So this is a map where you have an expo in the back of your main. It means walling off is very easy. You get to just wall off this small choke here, and it protects your main and your natural. Quite a large map, though. I mean, very good for swarm hosts. So,
yes,
player like FireCake, he's going to be feeling very comfortable with this.
Does Beastyqt play mech on this map, though, is the real question.
You know, I don't see Beastyqt very often play bio besides TVT, in which is a matchup that you can also play mech anyhow. So, like, Beastyqt has always been one of these players that can whip out mech anytime he wants, even against Protoss, actually. I've seen him do mech a few times.
Really?
And I like that you have that kind of, that tone in your voice when you hear it against Protoss, because I don't think it works against Protoss either. But
I don't like it.
Here we have the early pool by FireCake. How do you feel about pool first builds in general?
On this map, I don't see how it does anything unless you're being cheesed by somebody who's British.
By a British guy?
Yes.
Specifics.
Specifically a British guy.
I mean, you can't get the CC cancel, because the CC's in the back of the base. If they do so, go for that.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started talking about, like, these new maps, I had, like, a conversation with Maro, actually. And Maro was just like, yeah, it's so nice. You just build your second depot, and they can't do... Isn't that... Like, it's kind of weird to talk about how that last game ended, but the way that it began was pretty nuts, too. Like, you cannot force the cancel the same way that he did. No. You can't get lings there.
And I mean, so what's FireCake going for here? So both players opening up. Well, we have a Reaper build, 12 racks, 12 gas by Beastyqt. It's rather old school. And with the second depot, which means that he's definitely going to be getting another Reaper. So it's probably going to be a 2 Reaper opening here. FireCake, on the other hand, went for the pool first, which is a safe build. You get out your queen very, very quickly. You start lava injecting and stuff very early. I guess you can sort of start creep spread very early too. But in general, I feel that this build's too safe for this map, and it's not a map where you get bunker rushed, because your main, or your expo is in the back of your main, where creep spread already is. So I'm a little perplexed by this. Like, I'd like to ask FireCake why he does this.
I guess most Zergs are kind of got used to, for a little while at least, Reaper spam on maps like this. After IEM Taipei, where Maru just broke open, Reaper madness against life, a lot of people started to do Reaper builds, but I can't imagine that it's still a thing. I
mean, if I'm the Reaper player, he's going up to 3 Reapers, so...
Well, that's interesting.
You went for 3 Reapers on a 12 gas
Yeah, he
build?
did go. That's what I was going to say. He did go for the fast barracks.
It's a bit unusual. And by unusual, guys, usually if you go through... Oh, is he going to...
Ah!
Okay, whew. Usually if you go 3 Reapers, you do it with an 11 racks, 11 gas. Just the timings work out much better. As you can see, this reactor for this factory now is incredibly...
It's late. He's going to basically have time to build a Hellion before his reactor's done, which is abnormal, to say the least.
A little abnormal. But I guess he can start... In fact,
I mean, might just wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for 3 Reapers, get those Reapers as fast as you possibly can if you're going to do it. So why go for the 12 when you can go for the 13 or 11 even? Oof, oof, oof. So what do we have going on here? We have the extractors in the back, in the natural here, 2 at once. We have a Roach Warren going down. Does this signify anything? I guess it could be like a safe third that he wants to ultimately take.
I don't think you should be... I don't think that these maps will ever develop a meta where people are actually trying to kill each other in 2 bases, especially Zerg, because you just go into that tight choke point of a ramp, and then Hellions defensively just become so much better.
Yeah, this map's too large to really kill your opponent very quickly. So here, Hellions on the way. We're going to have a Banshee by the looks of it with that tech lab on that barracks, which against sort of Roach Warren, I mean, currently it's 2 base Roaches, but...
What I love most about this is just how fast the 3rd command center is, because the Roach Warren is going to delay everything if he actually builds Roaches. Like, I don't think... Like, these Roaches have to be defensive, but that still doesn't really help. Like, I feel that if you're going to try to rush up to lair, a lot of players would just put a Spine up front to stop Hellions from running by. I mean, he could still kill his queen, though. The Roaches might even...
Tried to micro that Reaper back, but blocked it. Now we see Roaches on the field, so... With BC already opening up Banshees, he's probably going to be like, oh, that's kind of nice. That's kind of handy.
I mean, I'd be happy if I were BC. The only thing is, like, if he's going to play mech, then he's already set himself up well, having that setup of the 3rd command center being done. Now
hasn't been scouted yet either, too, by this Overlord, so that's nice. And I mean, is that a mistake by FireCake not moving that over to the left? Because right now he's seen the Arbory, though, so maybe he's kind of worried. In fact, he won't be worried about a Hellbat attack. But 2 Evos, Baneling Nest, 2 more extractors. So far, just a standard macro game.
I feel like FireCake's going to want a faster lair than the last game, but he is going to get Zergling speed. Okay.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I find that weird. I find the Zergling speed very weird in this situation.
Yeah, I'm surprised by it. I figured he would want to get his lair faster and go right for Stormhosts.
Right, you just lost against this guy going mech. How on earth? And Ling attack upgrade too. Like, how on earth are Lings going to help you unless you think that your opponent's possibly playing Bio?
Unless he thinks that he just started a tech lab on the barracks as soon as that Marine killed his Overlord. Like, it's not really that unpopular to open up with a lot of Banshee aggression, Hellion, sometimes Hellbats, and then go into Bio. Like 4GG, for example, does it all the time.
I mean, I really think this is very obviously mech, you know, and I think everything that FireCake saw, especially with the armory, like if you go Hellbat Banshee, that's almost always mech, almost always. I mean, of course you can deviate from the plan, but the engineering base is so late and you'd be behind in upgrades and stuff. Like, and the fact that he already played against this player that's very notorious for going mech, what purpose do Lings serve at any point in this game? I just don't see a purpose whatsoever. And right now,
well, the Lings are totally trash against this army. There's so many Hellbats here that he'll never be able to break you with just Zerglings alone. That Spore Caller, though, definitely a nuisance. The Banshees are just held positioned right outside of range of it, which is really nice because he's killed off most of the Roaches, and even now getting the Queens with his Hellbats.
Wow, takes down that Spore too, so now the Banshees can fly forward, and they will be undetected here. If
there's no Overseer with the army, so the Banshees can just advance forward. He's going to kill another Queen. It looks like he's very close to getting it.
Micros that Banshee back, so we'll live to see another day. If he just moves down with his Banshees just a little bit, in fact, if he just... Okay, Overseer. So it does have to...
Oh, that new Queen.
The new Queen. Kill. The hero.
Oh, that was a really big pickup.
Heroine.
That Queen was very important to Muslim.
I'm just finding a lot of things in FireCake's play very confusing.
What is the most confusing?
The Ling option. Ling speed into Ling upgrades.
Ling speed with Ling melee. In starting +2 Ling melee. Interesting. Okay, now he realizes. Now he remembers which units are good against these cars.
Oh, that's a lot of Roaches, and that's a lot of Hellion deaths.
He just lost like 1,000 minerals of Hellions.
I don't think there's that many tanks on the field, actually, because he kind of committed to getting out 4s very quickly. Very aggressively placed factories,
Has he still been building Banshees? What does he actually have? Two Banshees? Yeah, that's a big problem.
That's nice, though, as Roach speed is not yet done. And I mean, the fact that he's retreating... Whew, huge sigh of relief for Beasty.
Beasty's got to be very happy that FireCake turned around because he does not have anything at home. And, you know, I'm sure it's happened to you before. If the Roaches break open the wall, then he just spreads them out across the bases. Like, yeah, Banshees can't be attacked, but still, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna take forever to actually kill those Roaches.
I'm just watching these games, and to me, like, even making the Hydralisk den here, it feels like FireCake doesn't really have much of a clue how to deal with mech. Even though I've seen him do very well against players such as 4GG's mech, but Swarm Host very early, that seems to be his go-to, which is the correct go-to. Means that a mech advancing towards you makes his life much more difficult.
Yeah.
These Banshees, though, they've kind of been his bane here. Like, he never really has an answer to them.
Yeah, keeping the Queen count very high this game, though. He's got a lot of Queens in production.
Personally speaking, when you play mech, what's the one thing that you hate going up against, like besides Swarm Host? Because I hate Fungal.
Really?
Yeah, I hate Fungal, man. Like, your air units that are bunching.
I mean, you only need to build air units once they have a lot of Swarm Hosts out, though.
Which, I think that's inevitable.
Yeah. But I obviously hate Swarm Hosts. There's nothing that makes me happier when I'm playing mech than someone trying to win against me with Roach Hydra or Roach Hydra Viper.
Well, yeah, I think
then it's like a free win. Because all you have to do is not get blinding clouded, just build some Vikings and you're good to go.
Yeah. So here, lots of Swarm Hosts on the way. We have Hive on the way, which means Vipers are going to draw fray. Upgrades, pretty decent for both players. We have +2 on the way, almost finished for BC. FireCake on the hand, he's got 1-1-2. These Banshees, again, just kind of dealing damage. Kind of flying off into the abyss over there. Beasty's army's getting very strong, though, even though we haven't seen it in a while.
Nice positioning on these Banshees, just being so annoying, getting a few more drone kills on top of everything else. It's got to feel good. These Queens, man, they're migrating often, but without actually getting anything.
Constantly dealing damage on these mineral lines.
Kills one of the Banshees.
89 drones. That's a lot of drones. And I mean, Beasty's already on 4 bases here. pretty well saturated too, by the looks of it, with that 75 harvester count. Plus 3 on the way. 3 starports being added. This is very reminiscent of the first game, except I feel it all, well, despite not killing like 32 drones, I felt that economically he's been unthwarted. He seems to be in a good spot. Going to deny some creep here. Hasn't got blue flame yet, but it is on the way.
Yeah, denying the creep, of course, very important. Doesn't want to give those locusts too much more life. As I mean, creep basically extends the life of a locust, right? Because of how much, you know, the way that the timer works, and the way that faster speed on creep.
Yep, if you get your opponent faster,
then you've got more time to hit him.
If you've only got a 30-second life expectancy, if you get your opponent faster, it just grants you that much more time with the people you want to be with.
Exactly. You get an extra couple seconds exactly where you want to be. Hellions cooking some roaches.
Looks good. 5 CCs on the way. 2 more starports on the way. This is
He's hunkering down.
Certainly is. Certainly is. And, you know, I like the fact that he's making Ravens as early as he is. Because the longer that they're out, the more energy they can obtain.
Now he's built so many command centers. A good number of these should become orbitals. So I'm waiting to see when he actually starts to throw away SCVs. Although I guess he shouldn't max out anytime soon because he's going to throw away all these Hellions at the same time.
Oh, where's the queen?
Big drone kills.
I mean, not having a queen at this base makes it so much easier for these Hellions to just kind of hold position and attack drones only. That's a lot. That's like a good 20 drones that just fell there.
Ooh, he's going to get even more.
Oh,
nice. Nice.
This is like MLG all over again. You know, the Slayer's parents come and just frickin' barbecue everything. And I mean, wow, 39 drones killed. And I mean, that's... Even though FireCake's doing pretty well on resources and still has quite a lot of drones, those are resources that you don't really want to be spending at this point in time.
No, definitely not. Durable materials even on the way. And building armor. Oh, building armor to Muslim.
It's a beautiful upgrade.
It's one of my favorites.
Against mutas, though, yeah?
Against everything. You know,
I'm sure... PF against Zerglings and Locusts?
Yeah, but even a Planetary Fortress against Marines and like TVT, like building armor has a huge difference.
Certainly does. Do you know how much armor PF has with building armor?
Yeah, 5.
It's 5? Okay.
Yeah. PFs naturally have like 3 armor. It's pretty sick.
Is it 3?
Yeah, building armor gives +2.
I thought it was different for PFs.
Yeah, man. Boom. Okay.
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice.
If there's one thing I know, it's my building armor.
Your building armor. I think Gretorp also loved building armor.
Yeah, but he didn't love Neosteel the way I did.
Like, is that the bunker upgrade?
Yeah.
That upgrade sucks.
I used to have a strategy where I would just do endless Banshee harass and build infinite Marines behind it, and I would get Neosteel because they would always go Storm because my Protoss opponents were really weird. And I just have 8 bunkers with like 100 Marines in them because I had the bunker upgrade and building armor.
I really like the position of these Banshees, by the way. Oh, he's kind of moved them closer now. Oh, they got abducted, okay. I was about to say, like, the position that they were in, they couldn't be shot by Queens. But, you know, that was without the addition of abduct there. So lots of PFs joining the fray. Lots of orbitals joining too.
And these building armored planetaries, man, they're going to be tricky to take down once this tank line advances far enough, of course. Windswarm hosts are on the map. Anything's possible, but battle cruisers are coming out again. And once more... Well, I guess the big difference this game is that there will be a Spire, but, you know, he didn't play around with mutas at all. He is getting +1 attack for his air units, so if and or when he sees battle cruisers, he's not going to have the worst possible response. One
thing I really liked by FireCake this game is the fact that he took this middle left base so early. Because, I mean, that's a base that eventually you probably fight over with your opponent.
Yeah, this is a base that usually doesn't ever get touched.
Right. This is like... And the reason that we're saying this, guys, is this game is inevitably going to go on for quite some time. So the fact that you take a base that is going to be like no man's land eventually, at some point in this game, if you can mine as much gas as you possibly can out of that, then great stuff.
Yeah. So battle cruisers are starting to come out now. Still a lot of Hellions being produced. I like to do this when you're like building BCs, you just build a ton of Hellions, just throw them around and see what you can get. Because there's not really a whole lot else. It's got to just take a little while to build.
DCs are lovely. And I mean, with the armor upgrades that you get on those, they can get up to like 6 armor, I believe it is. If you get level 3 armor.
Yeah.
So they start off with 3.
Yeah, BCs, man. They're like buildings. Even better.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love flying PFs.
I think you should be able to load flying PFs like a bunker. That's the next step.
4-4 meta's end, but these Hellbats do avenge him.
Yeah, coming in, trying to put some harass on this gold base in the northeast. There's not a whole lot actually mining here, since the big focus is on that central base that might be knocked down soon.
Really good at FireCake to add so much
Just
spore.
a really disgusting number of Vipers too.
Look how many spores there are in the field. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, what a good addition. I mean, how do you attack into spores?
He doesn't want to build corruptors. He doesn't want to build corruptors at all, so he's just going to endlessly abduct the air units. And I'm actually totally okay with that. I think it's that's a pretty smart way to handle it. But in this situation, if Beastyqt realizes that, then you like move all your BCs to the east side, right? And then you cut it. Like that's what I would do at least. When I face someone who does like the spore forest, is you just push through the gold over into the natural, and just then they don't have anything because the static defense moves so slowly.
Ooh. I mean, playing against a guy with that many spore crawlers, though, that's
How many
rough.
spores are there actually on the map? Can we check that? There are
54.
54 spores. Man, they deal so much damage.
At this point in time, I don't feel like you're playing to win. I feel like you're playing not to lose with that many spores, you know?
Yeah.
Even though they are kind of, like, they're a good thing to make, because if you can't lose, well, then you can't lose. And I mean, that's kind of a nice thing to be playing with there, but, yeah.
This is still a pretty obscene number of battlecruisers.
Yeah.
I would love to just see these BCs just go all the way to the right edge of the map and push up. Like, you cannot engage that spore line. That is the only way I think Beastyqt's army loses. Because this army is just about ready to fight against anything with that Raven support. 12 battlecruisers and 6 Ravens. Like, the point defense drones are insane.
This is so many Vipers. And I mean, Vipers, they're going to be so obnoxious against these PCs once they do start fighting.
With how much energy he has, he can really just he's like, oh, I see something I want, I'm just going to keep abducting it. There's out some Seekers. No,
and it's that nasty situation where it's, hey, I'm going to pull your units.
He got +1 infantry armor.
For SCVs, man.
He wants those SCV. Wow, he's a true...
I'm not actually sure if that's the reason, but...
I'm just going to assume that's a mistake. Because he probably would have started Stim if he was going to make a bio switch.
It's definitely not... I mean, if you're going to make a bio switch, you go for +1 weapons above armor, too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got to be for the SCVs, but I mean, I feel that gas is so important that getting upgrades as meaningless as SCV armor...
Why does BC steal so many SCVs, though? That's my question. I feel like BC should just like box half his workers and throw them away. Look how many orbitals he has in this bank.
I think he'll do it when he's good and ready.
But he's maxed. He's ready. He's ready to throw SCVs away. No?
I mean, he's still mining a ton.
I guess.
Like, he can throw away a good 30
Whatever,
or so.
the Muslim. Whatever.
I just feel like,
Oh, no.
Left and go. Resources lost, by the way. This is what I always hate when I choose to go mech. It's 13,000 resources lost against 6,000.
Is BC going to actually just try to supply max on battlecruisers? He's got so many.
Yeah.
I don't even think point defense drone is going to cut it against this many spores.
Me neither. Oh, he's getting Widowmine Burrow
Okay,
upgrade.
he's doing what I was kind of hoping he would, which is just not going in the direction of that great field of spore crawlers. So now this army is uncontestable.
Now, do you think he just kind of goes for wiping out all the bases? Like,
Yes, that's the best way to... I don't think there's any other way to do this that actually has a chance of winning. Like, he just needs to kill all the tech, force him to rebuild everything, and then box him into like just basically only having these spores.
I mean, it's quite a lot of spores and 12 more in production here. That's insane.
Yeah, the really tricky part about this is that he can't force... He's not going to build corruptors. Like, by refusing to build corruptors...
Look how many spores. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
There's 65 on the field.
Better than corruptors, man. Corruptors are such trash. Like, when you think about it, like, if you force someone to build enough corruptors to kill this army, then you switch back into regular mech and just keep building Ravens and Vikings, they're never going to beat you with Broodlords. And that happened very recently in GSL or whatever, too. Like,
With Yoda?
yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, he lost because he chose to go Broodlords.
Yeah, but you build so many corruptors, you don't have a choice against this many battlecruisers.
I still think...
So that's why I think the spores are a better choice. Because I think going corruptors and then Broodlords is bad. I don't disagree with you.
I mean, I still think the fact that he chose to not go Swarm Host again was really, really bad. And he had no infestors in his army.
I mean, I'm just trying to look at it in terms of this game. But,
so he's going to, like... This is a pretty smart way of picking off Hydras. I mean...
It's actually better if you could pull more BCs at once. So
oh, it cancels the Yamato too every time you pull. That's really unfortunate.
He's
Now,
killing these BCs, man. What is he rebuilding? A lot of Ravens. I like that. Secret Missile is nice, but he still doesn't like actually kill these other stuff.
I mean, that's one way to mine your opponent's minerals.
Yeah, this is actually, you know, all jokes that we can make about this being mana meals aside, this is actually really smart because...
It's a war of attrition. It's all about denying your opponent of resources at this point in time because, yeah, the game has already gone on for 30 minutes and do not do not fool yourself thinking this game will end in the next 5 minutes because it won't.
No.
Look at their banks, look at their supplies. And I mean, Beastyqt still got that moment in time where he has to sack all those SCVs. Which...
I'm still surprised he isn't throwing workers away.
Oh. I'm surprised. Like, can you blinding cloud buildings? You can, yeah?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Kind of surprised he didn't do it to that PF. Ooh.
He really wants to crack this one open. But the Infested Terrans against Building Armored PF actually barely do any damage at all. I guess the reason why he does it is because they can shoot through the PDD, which is smart. So he does kill it because of that.
And the Battlecruiser is just throwing some Yamatos trying to hit this army as he continues to abduct. And, you know, he's getting abducted closer and closer to that field of spores. This is such a regenerative army for FireCake that you have the spores, like even these transfuses coming out of all these queens are just nasty.
I mean, I kind of like these trades for Beastyqt though. I mean, 7 BCs all at once now, 10 Hellions at once too. Wow. I almost feel like...
I don't think BCs can do it anymore.
No,
I think
Corruptors.
that's the one way I see him. I mean, building Corruptors, he has enough of other stuff that I guess it's okay.
Wow. Okay. This is going to get nasty. I mean, if these 25 Corruptors pop out, and I mean, if Beastie doesn't know about this and doesn't retreat very soon, these BCs will meet their inevitable doom. Though he does have some Ravens here that have PDDs available, even Seeker Missiles available.
Yeah, I don't know. The Corruptors could work, but I don't see them as an ideal solution. And this, you know, just 25 is fine. Another 8, eventually he will force him to commit enough that he could switch back to mech. Just saying, that's the fear. That's the nightmare for Zergs.
As long as he has Swarm Hosts in the field, I think he's going to be okay.
I'm actually very surprised that he's building this many battlecruisers. Like, I'm normally very understanding of why BCs can be good because a lot of players don't think they are. But this is just like overkill.
I like this.
You think it could work?
Yeah.
You're just talking about the Hellion attack.
I mean, the Hellion attacks are really cool and stuff.
Do you think the BCs are
yeah, I like BCs. I like BCs a lot.
Okay.
I mean, in a straight-up fight with Seeker Missiles, like they're the only unit that can withstand Fungal very good, and in good numbers, like BCs do deal with Corruptors too, if you include PDD, Seeker Missile, and the Yamato Cannon.
Yeah, okay, I won't argue on that one. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm mostly just concerned about this field of Spore Crawlers.
I mean, yeah, with that many spores on the field,
in theory, you can wait for Yamato and then just keep blasting away, but there are so many. It'll take you forever, and that obviously gives a Zerg time to come up with a solution.
The one thing that I really hate for BCs is the fact that when Vipers pull them, it cancels their Yamato. I wish that didn't happen.
You can make it so that doesn't happen. There's if you shift Q a command after the Yamato, then when it gets pulled, it'll actually finish the Yamato. It's a pro tip.
So you just shift?
Like you would just like Yamato and then shift click somewhere, like a move command or anything.
That was too many
shift,
Seeker Missiles.
Shift click a move command back behind the BC. It will actually fire. It will fire.
Cool. Well, Nathanius, Beastyqt needs to get another base up pretty soon. He's trying to get that one on the far right. There's an orbital floating near it. But he also needs to keep denying this middle base. And he needs to get his own middle base.
I don't see how he ever...
He's now reached the point where he's thrown away enough SCVs that he actually does have the super army. But FireCake has done the same thing. Like, he's only got 42 drones, so... Beastyqt is having a hard time getting ahead in army supply, and he's actually realizing that that tank situation is getting quite dicey against the Swarm Hosts, so...
How many tanks does he have? Wow, 0.
Yeah, he's building 5 now. He lost all of them.
He literally just went pure F. That's kind of ballsy.
I mean, it's not like I think it's the worst thing to do, but it makes you so weak to these pushes. And then obviously you can never get to the storm hosts. There's just so many spores. He needs the tanks to clear these out, because like he's not going to get his locust.
Oh, this is a nice amount of Yamato though.
And a lot of PDDs and Seekers being thrown in at the same time. Oh,
Good
he's trying
movement,
to
good
suicide.
movement. Really good movement with these Corruptors. They had Seeker missiles on them. Now he's trying to remax with Hydra. I feel that was a really good fight for Beasty, by the way.
Yeah. He actually retained a lot of those battle cruisers.
And I mean, he can just have some SCVs come and repair and stuff. Now, I love the PD. Oh, I love the turrets.
Yeah.
Start putting down turrets.
And
take this third base.
The turrets get the armor upgrades as well, so very strong.
Is he going to start repairing with these mules?
Yeah, I think you repair with the mules and then have them gather the gold minerals.
Wow. Mules repair fast. Do they repair faster than ordinary SCVs?
I believe the repair rate doesn't change no matter what scene.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. It's actually not something I've looked into, but I'm fairly certain it's always the same.
I'm really scared about these fungals, though, Nathanius. There's a lot of fungals available. Whoa, tunneling claws for roaches. Huh.
Maybe he's going to try to sneak past any one of the many planetaries with missile turrets next to them.
Look at this super ball. It's like FireCake trying to take that South Expo.
Neural parasite.
That's cool. If you can actually make that work, that's really cool.
I don't think it has enough range. Like,
Only 7.
like this only works if you drop like 8 neurals at once, but that's actually bad because it allows the Ravens to Seeker missile them, because then they can't move. At least that's how I see it.
FireCake's actually trying to take that base. That's really groovy. Landing clouds do go down. BC's join the fray. Wow, the gas for BC though is so low.
Yeah, he's just about out. It's just about out. He rebuilt a lot of siege tanks. I love this. He's like, my gases! I need this base, damn it!
I almost feel like in such a late game situation that nukes would be kind of cool. And EMPs. Oh, I love Yamato. I mean, like, the worrisome thing for BC here is if he takes a fight and it goes poorly, he can't remax. That gas is so low now for him.
Yep, and FireCake can still make a lot more. He's got a ton of money. The swarm hosts, man, the swarm hosts. It's like you just got like a steady, how many swarm hosts does he actually have on the map?
I'm guessing 17, oh, 12.
12, like that's his 24 supply that he's basically never going to have to worry about, because he can always send those locusts very quick. Let's push him forward into the field of spines, or spores, what have you. But the Hydra support is actually doing quite well. Now I'm really worried for Beasty.
Oh, the fungal.
No!
Oh, no,
I think that's
no.
it. You can't lose this. You don't come back from that.
No.
He lost all of his Ravens.
That's a good, oh, he just lost
Well,
a
the majority of his Ravens.
Yeah, he lost a good 12 or so Ravens there. And I mean, that's the big worry when you go for this air clump.
What do you think? Drop 8 racks? Just pray?
Spray. I mean, they lose against Swarm Hosts too. I hate Swarm Hosts. I hate Swarm Hosts so much.
Don't worry, Ben. Everybody does.
They're getting changed soon.
Soon.
Soon. Blizzard. PM.
More infestors. The thing is, everything in FireCake's army is just ridiculously cost effective because he can use all that he can get max utility out of the infestors and then move them back so they don't die.
Yeah.
So same thing for the swarm hosts. The swarm hosts can attack at 50 range because they don't have to actually leave when they attack. And yeah, Beastyqt has to bring his units pretty close, which means they either get abducted into the spores or they die to the swarm hosts.
I just like, you know, at no point in this game did FireCake say like, hey, I'm going to try and kill you. It was always like it was always a case of, I'm just going to try not to die. And it worked out really well. Like, if you choose to play like that as a Zerg, I mean, I just don't see how you can die.
Yeah, I don't think this game is losable for FireCake.
And I mean, realistically, at this point in time, Beastyqt could still try and go for the draw in like the bottom left part of the map. So I mean, quite a lot of resources have been burnt out, and he can still make a lot of air units. Like, you know when he had that big battle cruiser air army, where he had like 12 BCs, 15 or so Ravens? If he just chose to get rid of everything that he had and float, Like, there would have been no way that your opponent can kill you, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel that, like, when you go mech, that's your best option.
Even that could still be on the cards in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and with the fact that he's making Vikings now, and your opponent's invested so much in Infestors, I think that's probably going to happen.
He's
That's what I'd go for.
I guess if you really want to, yeah, he probably really wants to qualify for this tournament, so do whatever you can.
And he's making Hellions now, so that's kind of like, that goes against that theory, but he's just making those to try and use them somewhere on the map, which is what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
with so many minerals, you might as well. He's actually done some work on the spores too.
Oh, hunt them down. And I mean, the big thing here is not, wow, that looked cool. That looked cool.
Oh, that was so good.
I like that they're both kind of smiley about that. You know, I typed lol to somebody the other day. Like, I had a winner mine, and a guy went 2 base, by the nice fungus. A guy went 2 base High Templar, and I hit a winner mine in like a bit of foliage. And then 8 High Templars came walking across and they blew up, and I typed lol. The guy got so mad. Like, I like that these guys can appreciate this.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. The way Hydra's dying to Hellions like that doesn't happen terribly often.
No.
But it was cool to watch.
Certainly was. So, unit count. If we bring up the unit counting tab
Do
here.
we agree that BC can't win this game? I don't think there's anything he could do.
I don't think he can win, not with his
There's
count
so
count.
many spores. Like, the air army is too active. The Viper count's been significantly reduced, but still, with this many corruptors, like, you should never be able to get close enough to try to target or Yamato with it.
Like, what he should do at this point is just mine as much gas as he can, which is what he's trying to do with these 2 bases that he has left. In these kind of encounters too, he should try and Yamato as many Vipers as possible, because gas, that's the big thing here for both of them. Because there are still minerals to mine on FireCake's half of the map. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he can win. I think he's just going to try and... Okay, nice. That's what he's doing, Yamato. Okay. Priority number 1, Yamato. More BCs.
Building more battle cruisers. Well, not feeling it, man. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't think there's too much here. Like, he's like, okay, I have energy. I don't have to rebuild my infestors. I just use their energy and then I'm good. Like, I don't have to spend. He doesn't have to spend almost any money on half of his active forces.
Like, there aren't that many BCs on the field though, right? Like, it was what, 6 or so?
Decent number, yeah.
6? Okay.
3 more coming.
I like the fact that he's adding more. I think Yamato's always a really... Like, if it's an insta-kill on a unit, if you can get it off, then having 9 of those units available, man, that's awesome. What I would start doing, though, or what I would have done earlier, is, like, scanning my opponent's bases and just, like, dropping mules.
Yeah.
To try and mine out minerals.
Yeah. Take their money.
Yeah, because as soon as you know it's going to get to this kind of stage, like, you have to start resorting to those kind of tactics. Even though they're not really useful to you, they're really aggressive against your opponent. And hashtag Legacy of the Void.
Beasty shares our sentiments. Yeah. I'm honestly, like, if you look at this...
Hey Nathanias, why don't you talk to Blizzard and get us nerfed?
I think everybody's spoken about this.
You've had tweets like that though, right?
About
and it's like, yeah, man, I'm a caster.
Oh, when people tweet me about it?
Yeah.
And Nate, why don't you just magically make people that don't, you know, like that other people do stuff that you want? I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's maybe I can't. Maybe StarCraft's a little bit bigger than just me.
Imagine if I had the power to do that. You know, I would have gotten supply depots changed to 25-second build time if that was the case.
Yeah. Have you thought about that ever since I told you? Because
QXC complained to me about that first.
Yeah, I learned that from QXC. I was about to say.
Yeah.
When he told me about that, I was like,
the day he pointed
wow.
that out to me is the day I realized there's no justice in life.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering what we're talking about here, so supply structures such as pylons and I guess supply units such as overlords, they both take 25 seconds to build. They also don't require a harvester standing by and just fixing them.
Yeah.
So they take 25 seconds.
You don't lose supply from mining time.
Yeah.
If you use a drone, you get the supply back so you can make another drone.
Yeah, whereas building a depot takes 30 seconds, but it also, those 30 seconds, that's basically 20 minerals lost mining time by building that depot.
Yep.
So how's that balance when they take longer and they're less efficient?
I don't know that it like breaks the game as far as balance goes. just frustrates me as a Terran player because when you get supply blocked,
I mean,
you're guaranteed to be supply blocked 5 seconds longer than the other guy if you both get supply blocked at the same time.
I mean, like, I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. Like, you know,
Hashtag Legacy of the Void.
it's less efficient and it takes longer. It's like, okay. I mean, but it's like that's not getting fixed in Legacy of the Void. I don't even.
No,
I
I don't know that anyone actually cares about that.
Well, QXC does. We do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care
The
enough that
dream.
I'll stop playing StarCraft because of it, you know.
I am actually just going to end my career today until supply depots get dropped 25 seconds to Muslim.
He can make 4 BCs.
And then he's going to be completely broke, and that's it.
I'd make 4 BCs. In fact, how many Ravens does he have?
At this point, he's too far gone.
Hey, Yaza!
12 Ravens,
You saw it though in Twitch tab, right? Before that switch.
BCs.
4 BCs.
Oh boy.
Oh. I'd never do this. It's just wasting a BC to get up. I think in this situation, like, the best thing you can do is not attack.
Yeah, you just have to sit there and hope that FireCake decides he wants to leave his base at some
Like,
point.
yeah, you have to hope. You have to wait for FireCake to use up all his energy on his Infestors and Vipers. Then you might have a chance.
Alright, Muslim. Did you know that if you call down a mule, it takes up the space before the mule pod even appears in the air?
Yeah.
So you can actually, if you have enough mules, you can just drop them, and before they even appear, you've created a force field.
Yeah, I often, I used to mule drop on ramps and stuff.
It's very sick.
I did it against Ultras one time. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really badass.
Beastie still has supply that he can use. Is that because he lost Hellions somewhere, or did he lose something else? Ooh. Now, if he can trade Hellions for Infestors, that would be sick. I'd say a lot of Infestors. Infestor Terrans even.
Thing is, like, once again, in another 2 minutes, the energy on all the Infestors will be back, so unless he's going to kill him right now.
Like, I admire Beastie's ballsiness by trying to move forward here, but
The only way BC can win this game does not involve him attacking into this. You know, like, if he wants to win, like you said to Muslim, just pick all your shit up, float into the corner, and spam PDDs all day and hope that he attacks with his corruptors 100 times and loses all.
yeah, guys, because if you're wondering why Beastie can't attack here, the way that it works when you move, you attack, you click a point. So even if you spread out your army, all your army is eventually going to try and move to one point, which kind of clumps them up, no matter how you try and attack. And so Fungal can be that much better. But also the fact that he's going to be running into Spore Crawlers, where he's going to get his army picked apart, because he's going to be abducted left, right, and center, and just away from the army. Also the way that Hunter-Seeker missiles work, they have to be targeted on a unit for like up to, I think it's up to 5 seconds, in-game seconds or so, to actually launch. If you run out of distance, it's just a game where the guy on the retreat, the guy defending, is just going to be ahead in every way, shape and form. Same for the Zerg attacking. Like, what happens if he runs into his opponent? Well, he just can't Seeker missile. Like, there's no way for either of these guys to attack, which is why you see this very, very slow, patient game. And look, as soon as you attack, hey, you're getting abducted. What did Beastie learn from this? What did all mech players learn? You don't attack.
Yep.
And I mean, if Beastie did the, I guess, a really smart thing here would be producing lots of turrets, so Vipers cannot run into him like they were just doing. Then he'd be in even better shape.
Swarmos are going to kill the turrets.
Well,
so.
not with PDDs and tanks.
Yeah.
So if you have PDDs, tanks, and also you have the abilities of the Yamato cannon.
I just like that the focal point of this entire game has now become around the last drops of gas in that in those 2 geysers. The whole game pretty much revolves around this extractor.
And I mean, Beastyqt, he's the guy that actually needs gas right now. What FireCake needs is to mine gas away from Beastyqt. But, you know, both of these guys shouldn't attack. That is lesson 1.
Well, Swarmos were never about attacking anyway. It was always about starving the other guy out.
I tell you, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more. Oh, that could have been a cool. That was a lot of drones that just fell. I'm surprised we didn't see more auto turrets, actually. I mean, at this point, if Beastyqt even loses tanks, it's not that big of a deal, because he should just fly. Are you falling asleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the yeah was in reference to the...
Oh, no. Why is he using the Yamato? Should use that for the... Oh, he's killing Swarm. Okay.
Well, it's too late to switch back into heavy tanks now. You can only afford to build like 5 more.
So
What's he attacking with on the bottom? What is that?
Roaches?
Okay, he's got some roaches. He's picked off add-ons of the star plugs.
That's a moment where I feel like, whoop-de-doo. Although it's gas, I guess, that you spent at one point in time.
I mean, really, I've just been spending the last 20 minutes trying to think of a way that Beasty can win, and all I'm thinking is that eventually he's going to give up and just lift off, and we're going to have to replay this map. If even that, because he still does have a lot of money to throw corruptors at him. But PvD is good.
You can't blame either player for how this has happened.
No, I don't blame them. I'm just like it's reached a point now where neither one was able to get enough done that there's really only one way this can end, or at least should end.
Yeah, like Beastyqt is playing a little bit Larry here. Like FireCake's, even if FireCake's doing the more frustrating thing here, which is just kind of sitting back, it's the correct thing. It's the patient thing to do. Like here, I mean, it was Hellions getting abducted, then dodging the fungal. That was kind of like a gone in 60 seconds moment right there. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Thought not. Some of Nicolas Cage's finest.
I've only seen, well, I've seen actually quite a few Nicolas Cage films, but...
What's your favorite?
I think the same as everybody else. Well, actually, I guess that probably varies quite a bit. It's hard to pick, because I think...
you know he won an Oscar, right?
Wicker Man was good.
Are you serious? No, you're not.
It's a hilarious movie to watch if you just watch it for the Nicolas Cage part. Beasty's asking him what bank he has because Beasty knows he's broke.
Now, this is where we get to truly determine what kind of person FireCake is. Is he a liar?
Enough to have a long and boring game.
Well, no, he's spot on. He's true.
He's being honest.
Words of true.
I think Beasty's just like, F this.
So, you liked Wicker Man.
I didn't say it was a good movie. I just said it was a good Nicolas Cage movie.
Is that your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Well, name
like,
your favorite Nick Cage movie.
Con Air is really good.
I'm glad you liked. Have you seen The Rock?
Of course. The Rock is really good too. Well, then you've combined Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, and that's...
And Ed Harris, yeah. That's the main bad guy.
What more does a man need? Have you seen Face Off?
Yeah, it's another one of his finest. The movie...
But his like really bad derpy movies, I think, are entertaining in their own way.
Like Ghost Rider?
Like Wicker Man. And, no, Ghost Rider was just terrible all around.
Did you see Drive Angry?
No. Was that? There's like one where he's like a magician that can see a couple seconds.
Sorcerer's
into the
Apprentice.
future. No. There's one where you can like see into the future.
Next.
That was awful. Awfully hilarious.
Hey, look, he's trying to attack. Look, what's happening?
And there's a lot of spore crawlers. Oh, he's not actually
missiles.
splitting his corruptors. Okay, he runs them into Beasty. That's one way to do this. If there's one thing Beasty can't win, it's a war of attrition. And now that Beasty has finally attacked his opponent, he can die, and we can go to map number 3. All right. GG.
Grizz. Gave him the Grizz. So the 1 hour game. Defend. Either player that attacks, they will lose.
That's just... How many spores was that? That was like 70 spores?
Yeah,
64?
I mean, I played against FireCake doing mech, and he's the reason I stopped playing mech, because every game ended in a draw.
Yeah, people like him. Well, it's even worse if you're on a map that did... There were some maps that like didn't really have airspace to do that. Like, I think... What maps can you not hide on? Like, I guess
Deadwing? Like, where can you hide in Deadwing? You can kind of hide in the middle 12 o'clock and middle 6 o'clock, but I think you're still in range of getting fungled.
Yeah, that's still tricky. Yeah, that was the map where Lilican tried.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, he won on it, I think.
Yeah, but it was still like there really wasn't a lot of places to hide.
It was still like a 5 hour long game or 4 hour long game.
Yeah, but like you have maps like Overgrowth. There's really nowhere that you can safely hide. You can try below the main in the top right position, but even then it's...
I mean, it's just a really bad design that like neither of you can attack. Like that's ultimately what it comes down to.
There's really nothing. There's really like neither player has an option because mech armies will beat any other army a Zerg can build hands down except for the swarm hosts.
Yeah.
So that once they build the swarm hosts, the Terran, you can't push into swarm hosts when a map is that narrow.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to go around them. So you have to build air units, and then
the Zerg player's like, okay, I'm going to build 100 Spore Crawlers and 10 Vipers, and then as the Terran, your good air units are slow, so if you get abducted, they just die over the spores.
Now, do you think if they changed Seeker Missile to kind of like act instantly rather than kind of having to lock on, that would help things? Because I think it would. It would kind of give Terran the option to attack. Like if they made it weaker.
I mean, when Swarm Hosts get changed, it won't matter anyway, because tanks will be useful again, right? So.
Yeah, I mean.
At least sort of useful.
But will you actually play mech against Zerg still with how immobile mech is?
I think so.
Like
the flying locusts are really trash if you have a Thor, like a couple Thors in your army. Like
yeah.
Directly attacking the mech army becomes much more tricky.
But for example, on like a map like Varney, getting locusts into your main or your natural, where you're trying to defend your third and fourth.
Yeah, but if the guy commits enough supply to put a worrisome attack in my base with the cooldown of the locusts and the time that it takes for how long the waves last, I think that gives you more than enough time to like deal equal amount of damage back. Because then what could they possibly have at home to defend? You know?
I hate fungal. Like running on creep, it's kind of suicidal still.
If they have 20 plus supply of swarm hosts.
Like what are you running at them with? Like tanks, Thors, Hellbats?
Like a semi-maxed army of mech. Like you've got like 10 tanks. I maybe Thor 2.
What do Zerg realistically have to deal with mech if they don't have swarm hosts?
That's what I was saying. Like that's how I would go. I would play mech against Zerg more.
I think they just need to get rid of swarm hosts and just add something totally new. Like it just feels. I mean, the fact that they can cause situations like this in not just ZVT but ZVP too.
Yeah, I think the reason Beastyqt was asking FireCake that question is just because if FireCake didn't have a bank, then Beastyqt just lifts off into the corner, and it's.
I mean, even if he had a bank, lifting off into the corner is your best hope.
Yeah, that's true.
I think BC just felt too manly. And, you know, like, it's down to his Serbian roots. He was just like, gonna go for it, man.
Beastyqt is an honorable man. He was like, you know what? It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, man. But, you know, I talk about manliness, but...
Although I still think
is he okay, is he going to go 11 racks? Is this going to be GAT? Like, do you think it's going to be a Reaper build? Or 2 racks?
I would say Reaper.
I think 11 racks, 11 gas Reaper. But, I mean, we talk about manliness, but FireCake did the smart
another
thing there.
SCV's going out. It's 2 racks.
Oh, okay, cool. Like, FireCake did the very smart thing there. If you just play patient and don't attack, you can't lose. And as a Zerg, are you going to force a draw? Well, yeah, if the Terran doesn't attack you too, but, I mean, if you attack into a Terran, like, you're going to get Seeker Missile and you're going to lose too.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a horrible situation for both players. But here, Beastyqt, oh, he's against Pool first. But, oh, that's a very early pool too. It's like was that like a 13 pool?
Yeah.
Ridiculously early.
Cool. Out of FireCake here, as he gets ready. Now the question is, what is this like? How does this work for Beastie now? Because this is the lead. This is like one of the worst openers you could go against, right? Any type of pool first is going to be significantly better at defending a 2-racks. No.
Now you say that, but the fact that FireCake's going to be going for like 6-ling / 8-ling cancel CC build, I actually think it's going to be fine for Beastie. I say that because, so here we go. Like he's canceling. It just means his natural is going to be so late here, so late. And I mean, if you can get out 3 Marines and have just any amount of SCVs on the field with your Marines, I think you can take on those 6-lings and then actually win with a bunker rush. I think 15 pool is very good against 2-racks, but any earlier
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen you 2-racks enough games that I don't even know if I want to talk about this game anymore. I think you've got it all, man. I don't know. He does have more than 6-lings with this. This is it? No, my ability to count has been ruined by that last game. It is 6-lings.
Yep.
Man, that's Farmhouse game. So he's gonna try to get on top. Okay, with 3 Marines and the SCV like you mentioned, yeah, I guess he can clean these up. So you think that the disadvantage here, trying to be serious about this now, is that there's no queen at the natural and there's no creep for it to dance around on, so he can't get a spine, so he should be able to still get a bunker up?
The real thing here is, so he's going to have 10 lings out soon, but if you have 5 Marines and like 3 SCVs, you own 10 lings. You need like 14 lings to deal with that.
Yeah, the Marines, they compound their DPS very quickly.
Like one of the big weaknesses that people tend to forget about like going pool first is, if you just SCV all in with Marines, you're probably going to win. Like, I mean, this is a big commitment here. He's going to lose these SCVs, so Beastyqt is actually microing this a little bit poorly.
Yeah, well, the queen can't run since they're off creep, and now the Lings are trying to come up and support.
I mean, I feel that Beastyqt is kind of like, I don't think he's been in this situation before, and maybe he doesn't realize how good a situation this is. Okay, this is, like, there is a lot of Lings on the field. Where are those SCVs? Like,
So what you're telling me is that Beasty doesn't cheese enough to win with this?
no, I don't think so.
If he cheesed more, he would know what to do?
Yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
like, he's still in pretty, like, he just killed all those Lings. Like, if he just pulls all his SCVs now, I can't see him losing, really. But, I mean, he's not going to do
No,
that.
there's a lot of Lings on the way now.
I mean, there's still a lot of Marines on the field, and even though quite a few of them are red, yeah, okay, nice.
All right, well, Ben, I don't know why I tried to talk about this game. You know about 2-Rex way more than I do.
Like, I still think he's going to lose, because it went so bad early on for him, but
A lot of these Marines are quite weak, too.
if he goes for this counterattack with these 8 Lings, and all these SCVs are, like, running across the field, what are they counterattacking into? I mean, it makes it even better for Beasty,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, the Lings are moving up. They're getting ready. This queen is beyond overextended.
Oh, but is it the I think it's the Magnet.
Well, he still retreats to the point where the Lings can't get a full surround. Here come the SCVs to fight. Beasty's got his own Lings here now. As he gets ready, pushing up.
It's a lot of
FireCake just cranking out the Zerglings. He's not building any more drones for good reason.
I feel that a spine crawler in your main would be almost a smart idea, but this is really nice. So he's getting on top of these eggs that are morphing.
So that when they hatch, you can immediately kill those Lings.
Yep.
That's quite good.
Now he's getting to a spot where these Lings cannot attack properly. Hold position on the SCVs.
That whole position on the SCVs, that's some kinky stuff right there to
I mean, it's still a really close game because Beastyqt can no longer enforce this army, and now for FireCake, he wasn't mining at this base, so it's not as if he stopped mining.
Yeah,
Like
that's a fly block.
Beastyqt has to try and make it back to his 2 racks somehow, but I feel that FireCake's done this. He's won. GG.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. I mean, it was kind of close. Like, Beastyqt, he's still trying